Gotcha. No, I'm here. I'm here. AWA in the house, brother. Brother, brother, brother. Brother, brother, brother. What's up, guys? I'm gonna invite. I told Blinded he could have the night off, but he can watch if he wants. If I'm just gonna invite him the link. I just gave him the link, but I told him he doesn't have to come in if he's busy. But if he wants to come in, he can come in. I still give him the link. What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm here. AWO in the house. Daredevil time. Well, Daredevil again. Grace Randolph slash Daredevil. We're going to look at her review for episode 4. Breakdown, review, whatever she says. Catches my attention. Whatever stuff she doesn't get, she doesn't understand. That's what we're here to talk about. And hope to see you in the chat. I don't know where Red is. Hope to see Red in a bit. Hope the chat gets popping soon. It took some time for the chat got popping yesterday. That's for sure. All right. Say hi to whoever is watching right now. Hello. Tomorrow we're not going to do something like this. We're going to do something else tomorrow. Okay? We're going to look at something else tomorrow. Oh, yeah. I got to do this. Typing this in. And I'm going to say out here. And this will be pinned. There we go. There's my first comment. From me. If it appears on here. No, it didn't appear. Weird. Weird. That's strangely strange. Why it did not appear on here? Yeah. Maybe I'll see it. Maybe I'll see it when somebody else comes on. Starts chiming in the chat. But I could definitely see it on. Okay. I'll have to keep the browser open, I guess. I got two things open. That's strange as hell. Really, really weird. I apologize, guys, for that if I don't see the chat. It's not because of you guys. Because I don't think it's displaying here on the Restream. What's it called? Not this. Not on the restream. But I don't know, whatever it's called. It's not showing up on restream. I apologize. Because I would have seen this. Alright, but that doesn't matter. I guess I'll have to see in the chat. Okay. People are a little bit late, I guess. So, alright, I'll have to keep track of the chat. But we're going to talk about this. This is episode 4. And she did it again. She did it again. Grace Randolph, this is not a coincidence anymore. This is on purpose. She's wearing the same outfit, same color lipstick, red lipstick, which is normal for the review of Daredevil episode 4. So this is definitely her getting all dressed up for Daredevil. So she's definitely doing these reviews in style and red and all that. Even though despite her saying she had hope just for the show, but last review she kind of talked about, and it sounded like she had hope. She criticizes more than hope. Then give it actual positive critique. And if I can't see your chat, I apologize again. If I can't see your comments inside on the restream, on restream, I apologize. Sometimes restream does that. Sometimes it does that. Well, I'll say hello to you guys. I don't know who's in the chat right now because nobody's commenting because it's hard to see. So I'll just assume. I hope my gang is here. Red, I don't know if you're here. Blinded, Blinded may not join. I told him he doesn't have to. If you're listening, guys, if you're here, I told him he may not have to. Blinded may not have to join. Tell me if he's busy with schoolwork. He'll join if he wants. I give him the invite. But I just asked him, to come say hi in the chat. Seaside Ironic Ridge, I see you. I do not see that in the chat. That's a problem. Okay. See, I can see it on the. I can see you in the YouTube, on the my YouTube tab, but not on the Restream tab. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this because this is gonna be a little difficult. I'm gonna be doing switching back and forth a lot more frequently than I would want to. But I'm gonna try to do it. This review is only what? 19 minutes, I believe. Yeah, it's 20 minutes. I don't know why the chat is not showing up on my restream on restream. I don't know why. I apologize for that. Ironic Wages here. Okay. Maybe I have to look on my phone too. Okay. Now, how did she like this episode? Episode 4. Oh, this is this is the Daredevil tab, Born Again from Disney Plus. She showed it, and she's gonna call it. What's the episode called? Oh yeah, I can't read that. It's too small. The font.
4 episodes in, and I gotta say, I am enjoying the show, actually.
No, you aren't. No, you aren't. That's a flat out lie. You're not enjoying this show. I think you're lying to your viewers.
But I gotta say, it's pretty clear at this point that they modeled this after the Netflix Daredevil show, but that was a binge. And
No shit. That was no shit. You pretty clear. They told you they were gonna model after the Netflix show. They told you that. Remember that? I don't know. I think Grace. I think Grace has selective memory. Selective memory. They. Of course, this is a model after a Netflix show. Dumb. Okay. They originally it wasn't going to be modeled after a Netflix show, and they're really going to take a lot of liberties with Daredevil in the MCU, incorporating him in the MCU as its own show. They're going to take a lot of liberties, change a lot of things. I mean, even John Bertha even said about Punisher, what the original idea for Punisher in the MCU was going to be was like, no, I can't do this. I'm going to walk. He walked away from the idea of. He even said he walked away from that because it wasn't like what he signed up for. He didn't want this to be watered down. They didn't remember Grace. I don't know if you remember Grace. Maybe you forgot. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you remember Grace. Then he decided, they got the original showrunners from Netflix show to work on this Daredevil show. Of course, they're going to make it like the Netflix show. That was pretty clear from the start. They even told you that. What did you think? It was going to be a typical MCU show? And where's everybody? Where's my gang?
clearly, this show should have been a binge as well.
No,
which is why
no. This show works really well as not as a binge. Okay? Because of how the endings are shot. Okay? I'm gonna make this top chat too. Or newest. Okay? How is the endings shot? This is fine as a weekly show. It's fine. Weekly shows are better. Honestly. What's up? Weekly shows are better than binge watching. Okay? Weekly show builds up hype. Gets people talking, gets people trending, gets reactions. Binge shows, well, there's some good ones. Don't exactly do that. No. Echo was a binge watch show. Do you know why Echo was a binge watch show? What's up, Sideways? I'm sorry I can't see that in the chat for some reason. Do you know why Echo was a binge watch show? It's because Echo, they knew Echo wasn't very good. Let's be honest. Yeah, that's sideways. Yeah, that's what she's doing. Yeah, she's wearing the red. It's 100% confirmed. It's not coincidence. It's on purpose. She's wearing the red, and don't not just the lipstick. Not just the lipstick. Look at her outfit too. What she's wearing.
It was sent out that way to press. Again, I chose to wait to watch the episodes with you, so I wouldn't be saying, "Oh, just wait until like episode 5, 7, or 8." And so instead,
She says she's enjoying the show in the beginning, but every time she talks about it, sounds like she doesn't really enjoy the show. She always nitpicks so many more things. She talks about the negatives in the show more than her negatives in the show more than the positives. Here's the thing: when you enjoy a show or a movie, you don't talk about the negatives more than the positives. You talk about the positives a lot more than the negatives, right? If you enjoy something, right? I mean, isn't that how you should discuss watching a movie? Me too, sideways. And I like build up.
we were experiencing it together. And that's what I'm experiencing. A show that should be a binge. It just really doesn't work as a weekly show because it's not designed to. Again, they didn't make it to be a weekly show. Weekly shows have more pizzazz in each episode because they know they got to hold your attention for 7.
Grace, did you watch the fucking episode? You know what the fucking pizzazz in this episode was? I'll tell you what the fucking pizzazz in this episode was. And you're going to talk about this later in your review. But do you know what the fucking pizzazz in this episode was? That's right there. Right there. Frank and Matt. Right there. That's the fucking pizzazz. Exactly, ironic at Ridge. Echo was... Yeah, exactly. Okay. That, you know what's pizzazz? That's right there. When Matt confronts Frank, Punisher. That's the fucking pizzazz part of this episode. Yeah, it didn't happen at the end. Okay. Happened near the end, but that's the fucking pizzazz part of the episode. And you know what the fucking pizzazz part of episode 3 was? Last week's episode? I'll tell you what it was. The pizzazz part of episode 3 was the ending. The murder of White Tiger, right at the ending. That was pizzazz. He just got off, the charges are dropped, and then not even a day, maybe as a free man, gets shot and murdered. That was pizzazz. And pizzazz, okay? Like, what is she talking about? This is why nobody in the entertainment industry takes it seriously. They don't take it seriously.
Days. All a binge has to do is make you either not even click next, just let the 15-second counter go down and have it autoplay. And I gotta say, we're gonna talk about the Fisk thing. These zippers, sorry, they make.
She really, she really has dumb reasons, man. Like, seriously. I know some people are making fun of her.
Make a little noise. But that Fisk reveal with Adam, we're going to talk about it. That was amazing. It was my favorite part of the show. The show so far.
That was your favorite part of the show? Was the Adam reveal? She said she likes the show. Your favorite part was Adam was alive? Oh my god. That's your favorite part of the show? When Adam was alive? Yeah, something was turned out to Adam, but like seriously, that was the favorite part of your episode? Like,
I did appreciate Punisher showing up so early on, and they know they're losing you a little bit because he was the face on the Disney Plus interface. They were like, click on Daredevil, Punisher's here. And you were like, hot damn already? And they're
no shit.
like, and it's 54 minutes with
no shit. I mean, they said Punisher's return for the show. That was official. He was not a surprise. He was announced to be in the show, and like a year or two ago, also the symbol was around. The symbol was teasing the show. So like of course they're not going to surprise you. The Punisher's here. People know. If you watch the show, they'll know.
Credits.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. That's why they showed that. It's not a spoiler.
But it's like a 49-minute episode, and I really appreciated that. All right, so what do you think so far?
It was really a 49-minute episode. Yeah, it was. It was actually 54 minutes if you include credits and introduction or recap.
Do you think it's a binge, or are you okay with the weekly? And then I do think that there were some very cool moments this episode. I mean, again, I don't think it was enough for a weekly release strategy, but
how can she like the Adam reveal more than the Matt and Frank talk? I don't know. I don't want to go inside her head. Seriously, like I don't know what you'll find in her and find what she thinks in her head, because it's definitely not normal. Because I don't know.
No, I was entertained. All right, so obviously, as I said, the coolest moment was Wilson Fisk going full Kingpin and enjoying his cheat meal, doing The Rock proud, next to Vanessa's missing lover.
Doing The Rock proud? Yeah, episode 5 and 6 are next week. Yeah, thank you. Doing The Rock proud? Why?
Entertained. All right, so obviously, as I said, the coolest moment was Wilson Fisk going full Kingpin and enjoying his cheat meal, doing The Rock proud.
You know, Grace, The Rock's not the only one that does cheat meals, right? And I don't think
next to Vanessa's missing lover Adam, who he's got locked up in the basement. Hey, I think it shows tremendous progress that Adam isn't dead. You know, I think Fisk should be like, hey, he's just locked up down here. I mean, I love Fisk just indulging in all of his vices. I'm going to eat this. He's eating carbs with like sausage on top of it.
It's called.
And then he's got some.
I think Grace is hungry. She's talking about the pasta. She's getting. She's getting. Yeah, I feel like she might like. I don't know. She says she likes the show, but if like her favorite part is Adam, then I don't know. Like, and she's talking about what Fisk is eating. Pasta.
Guy locked up in the basement, and he saved that painting that captures his brutal spirit. But yeah, that's definitely his man cave. I love it. That cheat meal, though. Whew, I've been reading up on health.
Cheat meal? Are you fucking kidding me? Isn't this the same guy who Philly cheesesteaks and stuff? I don't think Wilson Fisk is the guy who exactly. I mean, you don't see it, but come on, Grace. See, only Grace talks about 2 minutes or 3 meals about 2 to 3 minutes about what he's eating. Nobody does that. Nobody in the fucking reviews do that. Nobody in the reviews talk about what 2 or 3 minutes about what Fist is eating. Nobody does that for 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, we may mention, right? Yeah, we may talk about, me and Blind might have talked about in episode 2, from episode 2, because it was very important to the story. But whatever. But nobody really talks about like that stuff. Like, that's the thing. Nobody cares about that.
Past year or so, and things like diet, what you're supposed to eat.
Oh my God. Grace.
And that meal was the scariest thing they've had on the show to date. Don't eat that, Wilson. I mean, it's a good thing he didn't pour himself a diet Coke with it. I would have been like, oh, I don't know whether to join you or shake my finger at you, Wilson. Because I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, but he had a bottle of wine right there. I mean, wine. A glass of wine is good for you, dude. Oh my God. A glass of wine is good for you, but he had a fucking bottle of wine, and he did have water there, but he also had a bottle of wine, and he's just okay. He's rubbing in front of Adam's face. Do you know why he's eating a pasta dish, Grace?
Really, like onions.
Oh my God! Diet lessons with Grace, guys. I'm serious. That's what she's talking about. Why?
Like fried. I don't like sauteed. I don't like mixing like
Oh my God.
Fajitas, sausage fajitas with spaghetti. But I do enjoy both those things on their own.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that it was a cheat meal. It's so funny. All right, so that scene was incredible.
You know what? It was, first of all, it wasn't a cheat meal. Okay, guys, I'll tell you why it's not a cheat meal. I'll tell you why it's not a cheat meal. Look at Adam. Adam is obviously he's locked up and he's not being fed well, right? And you can see the body, right? You can see the body. Eating a pasta is carbs, right? Pasta is carbs, right? It's a carbohydrate, right? And it's a heavy dish, right? He's just mocking Adam right in front of him with the pasta dish, okay? That's what's going on here. Okay? He's mocking the fact that Adam, the shape he is in. Then look what I have. Look what I'm eating. Look what I'm eating. That's what it is. It's not a cheat meal. It's a flex. It's a flex. Fist is flexing, demonstrating his power. That he's still the cruel man that he is. He's still the kingpin. That's what it is. That's what the scene is supposed to be. It's not him having a fucking cheat meal. You know what? I'm just gonna sit in front of this guy and eat pasta as my cheat meal. You know what? You know what? Instead, you know what? I'm gonna make myself a healthy salad. You know what? I'm gonna make myself a healthy salad, and then go down to the basement and eat it in front of the chained, locked up guy who slept with my wife. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, flexing with salad, guys. Yeah, fuck. If people don't, if she doesn't understand why he chose why pasta was the dish, then she's stupid. She doesn't get small things like that. She points out small things, but she doesn't get what they mean. That's the thing, right? Yeah, she's so predictable. She kind of is. All right, let's continue.
But then also we got the MCU. We got an MCU odd couple with Frank and Matt doing their best Oscar and Felix impression.
What?
So Oscar and Felix. But while I joke,
Where's Degrassi?
at the scene, I was also moved by the scene. That was actually a really beautiful scene about confronting how he feels about Foggy's death. I guess I didn't think about it until just this moment. I think.
Yeah, you see, you like that. You like that scene, but it's not your favorite. It's not your favorite. You like the Adam scene. That's your favorite scene.
That maybe Fisk and Vanessa are wasting their money on Matt's girlfriend who's never around, and perhaps they should go have Frank yell at them for a little bit, and maybe all their problems would be solved in about 10 minutes. It's like, we had some great effing break.
Yeah, let's have the Kingpin go to Frank for solving problems. Yeah, okay. Then yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. That joke makes no sense.
I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll find you. See, these zippers are killing.
Yeah, very smart. Very smart. Let's have the Kingpin, the criminal Kingpin, go to Punisher for advice for solving problems. Yeah. Let's do that, guys. Let's do that. Does she not think what would happen?
Me. All right, so Matt. I think it's interesting that Foggy's death has brought Matt closer, like further into the darkness, and therefore closer to Frank. And when Matt yells at, Frank's like, "Do you wish Bullseye was dead?" And Matt's like, "Justice was served. Bullseye got life." And when he yells that, you realize that Foggy's death and Bullseye gave Matt a life sentence as well.
You are going to take us all down.
You know what this reminds me
We
of?
don't control this, somebody else does. After this, I'm done. Frank, what did you do?
The Alto Nights, in theaters March 21st.
You know what that scene kind of reminds me of?
So excellent use of the justice system as a metaphor even beyond that. So from
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Jason Todd Batman. Okay? After the death of Jason Todd, Batman went after the Joker, right? Went after the Joker. I think with the intention of killing him. With the intention of killing him, right? But Superman and Batman managed not to. He did not give him to this darkness. He did become a little bit more violent. He did become a little bit more dark, but he didn't go to a point where he's to the killing. That's why I think Daredevil has to go with Foggy. He can't give in. Because once you give into the darkness, the villain side comes out of you. Okay? When you give it to your dark side, the villain side comes out of you. It's uncontrollable. Okay? And here's about Frank. We know why he became the Punisher. But if you really think about it, and Blind has always made this case that he's not a good guy, he's a villain. I look at the Joker in the same way I look at the Punisher. Now, there's little different things the Joker and Punisher have. We don't know why the Joker became the Joker, right? There's different incarnations. But I believe something messed up happened to the Joker's life. Something terrible. Something tragic, terrible. Like Batman. It has to mirror Batman, Bruce Wayne. Where it changed his view on the world, and he just starts doing shit. Just for the hell of it. Punisher, exact same thing, except he has a little bit more morals. He didn't lose exactly. He's crazy, but he didn't die exactly stop giving a damn, right? He still gives a damn. But Joker, on the other hand, doesn't. But like, I know there's been crossover, but if Joker saw Punisher again and be like, you really think, look, you probably tell Punisher, you're the biggest hypocrite of them all. You call yourself a hero, you think what you're doing right? You're just like me. You see what the world for what it really is. A joke. You like the chaos. You need the chaos. Okay? That's why Joker would not be a good enemy to Punisher. Punisher could be a friend to Daredevil, but Daredevil has to be the one to get through the Punisher. And I know they're not going to do this. People are not going to like this. People are not going to like this because Batman eventually got through the Red Hood. They're not going to do that with Punisher, but Daredevil has to be the one to get through the Punisher. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay? Because like Batman, eventually he took on a new Robin, right? A new Robin. Tim Drake, and he became less angry. Daredevil could not give into his darkness. He has to conquer his darkness because when you get into this darkness, things don't go. Like Batman knows his limits, and he knows what happens when he goes too far. And what's a good reminder that with Batman is it's seeing Joker. Because he sees himself going too far is what eventually turns him to somebody like the Joker. And he'll stop giving it them. Yeah, he doesn't kill innocent those. That's true. But the problem with Punisher is now he doesn't do this. Because he's not the type to lead a cult, to lead a gang, that people follow him, right? He's not the type, so I'll give him that. But people like that, if people are inspired by that leads to chaos. That leads to chaos and dysfunction, okay? But he's more of a lone wolf in that sense, right? So he's not, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But if people are really inspired by that leads to chaos, dysfunction, and it leads to innocents getting hurt. And there's a limit on this, right? You got to be careful with that. Because you see it with the Joker stuff in the Joker movies, man. Well, the first one. The second one's shit. And if Blyden was here, he would tell you, he kind of agreed with me.
Frank yelling his guilty verdict to Matt. Guilty! Not that Matt is guilty, but he feels guilty. Frank says he can see and smell that guilt coming off of him. And we're like, we've been able to see and smell it through the TV for like a week now. So Charlie Cox is doing a very good job acting. We're like, oh yeah, it's there.
It's just that Punisher is the devil on your shoulder. That it's a devil on your shoulder. Okay. Now he needs the angel on the shoulder, right? Daredevil, Matt.
It's there, Frank. I smell it too. And with Daredevil's client this week, Leroy Bradford points out that justice is blind. I mean, he's making a joke about it, but I was like,
justice
how did
is
I miss
blind. That's right.
that? How did I miss that a lawyer who not only fights for justice in the courts but also in the streets is blind, just like Lady Justice? I was like, oh, they should play that up more. That's great. I'm sure some of you are like, are you a real Daredevil fan? I like Daredevil. I'm not a super Daredevil fan.
People call you out on that, man.
I'm in the Batman camp.
Oh,
but
by
that
the
doesn't
way,
mean I have not read many Daredevil stories.
I think Foggy's alive. I think she wants a 2 or 3 per week episode release. Well, she's kind of getting that next week, right? She is getting that next week. So she's lucky. She's getting a 2 episode next week. So she should be happy there.
And can't enjoy them. But they should play that up more. I really like that. Oh, and we got a Skrull mention this week. We're so hungry for crumbs that everybody's like, Skrull? Did you hear Skrull? Well, guess
That
what?
was a funny line. I admit, when the guy said, "Oh, it was a Skrull," that was a funny line. That was a funny line. The Skrull thing.
I didn't hear Skrull. I wouldn't even have known it was there if one of you hadn't tweeted me. They just said Skrull. I swear to you, I honestly thought that Leroy said, let's blame it on a squirrel. I was like,
What the fuck? What? What? Oh my god. Did you hear that? She really thought, let's blame it on a squirrel? I perfectly heard squall. Squall. Yeah. I heard squirrel. I did not hear squirrel or anything close to squirrel.
okay, Leroy. I mean, I guess technically this is a Disney story, so let's give it a try.
I think she needs a hearing check. I think she really does need a hearing check. I seriously do think these, because I don't know you guys, but I heard squirrel, not even close to squirrel. Correct me in the comments down below. What did you hear? Because I heard squirrel. I know when Blinded came on yesterday, he heard that too, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard that, but I could be wrong. Cabia said anything about the squirrel? Really? I did not hear anything close to squirrel. What? Oh my god, because I didn't hear that. I heard what the guy said. What's his name? Leroy? Leroy, right? That's his name? Baxter? I heard what he said. And I'm pretty sure I'm not mistaken on what he said. That's messed up. Yeah, they're being plagued and terrorized by Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl. Right? Squirrel Girl, is that who? What happened? I don't know what happened there. Somehow I accidentally exited. Stop sharing this for some reason. Hey, Red, you gotta listen to this, man.
Like, okay. But no, he said scroll.
Duh.
And I gotta tell you, lip service Easter eggs, in my opinion, just don't cut it. If you're not gonna show it to me, again, see, show don't tell. Show don't tell.
You don't have to fucking show it to you. You've already seen the Skrulls in the Marvel Universe. Why would they show it to you? They didn't even prove it. They didn't prove it. Oh my god. Oh, somebody after this after show? Yeah, this after show probably sucked. Why does she? They don't have, there's no need for it to show it to you. If you.
I would go to the writer's room for this show, and it clearly is not written up on their whiteboard, and I would write really big and be like, you guys gotta stop forgetting this. They're like, give us a bigger budget. And I'm like,
Grace, the writers will throw you out and laugh at you. They will laugh at you, and they will tell you why they didn't do it first, and then they'll laugh at you and throw you out. They'll tell you that's a dumb idea. They don't have to show it. They don't have to show you it. They don't have to show you a Skrull. It's supposed to be a joke. Okay? Okay? Here's the thing, though. If it was a Skrull, that changes the whole story for Daredevil. If they show it, that changes the whole story for Daredevil. Why? The whole show changes the whole everything about the show. Everything about the show was about. Now it's not just a Daredevil show anymore. It's fucking part of an invasion show. It's part of more of a world. Beyond New York show. Fuck. Does she know what she's talking about? I'm sorry, like I don't think she thinks. She doesn't think logically with this stuff.
lower your expectations, right within the budget, write what you can show.
What you can show. I'm pretty sure they could show a Skrull if they wanted to, but the Skrulls are not part of this show. It would change. Oh my god. I'm sorry, guys. If I'm ranting, I apologize to you guys. Apologize to you guys if I'm yelling. But I hate repeating myself because I do it so much. Every time I talk about Grace, I repeat the same stuff 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times. It's irritating, annoying. And I think you know that. You know me. You know me. I don't get frustrated that much, right? You know me. But again, it would change the whole complexion of Daredevil, the show. It wouldn't be about okay. It wouldn't be. It just wouldn't be about what the story is about. And what you know what's going to be about? It's going to be about maybe it's a Skrull. The Skrull impersonated Punisher that killed Hector, or maybe it's the Skrulls that impersonated the cops with the Punisher logo. You know, it would change. Shoulder July. I should. Maybe you know what? It would change the whole complexion of the show. Everything. Everything. Oh, maybe it gets maybe Foggy Nellis is a Skrull.
But I mean, I'm like, come on, it's just some guy in latex. Let's make it work. If you're gonna,
Why do you want to see everything? You're about. Here's the problem with Grace. She's about fan service. She's fucking about. She cares about fan service, right? This is a problem. Fan service. Secret Invasion was shit, and it did ruin the Skrulls. Yeah. Like,
gonna have a Skrull. But I just think, speaking of cheap, that only mentioning Easter eggs is cheap in every possible.
why? The Skrulls are known in the universe. You can't mention without showing them. That what? What? How about this, Grace? How about this, Grace? You know what? You know what? I'm gonna. Okay. Maybe it was in a. Maybe it was my twin. Maybe it was some. Maybe it was the chameleon. Maybe it was somebody that look. Maybe it was somebody the chameleon. The chameleon's not in the MCU yet, but I'm just saying. Maybe it's the chameleon. No. Maybe. How about this? Maybe it's my twin brother. Well, actually, be more legit. My point is, just because you mention it doesn't mean you have to mention something. It doesn't mean you have to show it. Show them. Okay. Okay. And why would a Skrull? And you know why Daredevil blew that off? You know why Daredevil blew that off? Why would a fucking Skrull want to impersonate a basically a poor man, somebody who has to steal for food? Why would a fucking Skrull? If I was a fucking Skrull, the last thing I would do is impersonate somebody that's poor or just trying to survive on the streets. If I was a fucking Skrull, I would impersonate some wealthy person, right? Somebody that's power and wealth, you know? But guys, if you're a Skrull, you would not impersonate somebody's like a homeless person. Let's be honest. Or somebody's just trying to survive. You impersonate somebody wealthy, right? Or something like that.
Way. I really have a problem with it.
That's
like if a Skrull would be a reasonable
That's why Daredevil didn't blow it. Didn't believe him. Like, yeah, blew it off. Like, no.
Defense, then that would mean there has to be a decent number of Skrulls walking around New York City. And I ain't seen one in 4 episodes. Or maybe I have. Skrulls are.
And you don't need to show it because Skrulls have nothing to do with this show. Okay? Okay? This is like frustrating, guys. It's frustrating. Okay. Why? Why does just because they're in the universe? Why do we need to see them? What?
So tricky that way because they're shapeshifters. But boy,
I mean, if I wish there's a Skrull version of Grace, the Skrull version of Grace would definitely be a lot more tolerable, right? I think.
what another can of worms for Feige up there with the multiverse.
Oh my God! Taking shots with Kevin Feige is something you would do, but the people working on the show that has nothing to do with the fucking show. Like, just what is this? This woman, if she ran MCU, what she would do, none of the stuff would make sense. It would be all over the place. All over the place. Everything would be all over the place. She, like, Deadpool and Wolverine would be like one of the worst movies. Deadpool and Wolverine would be a total different movie. I mean, okay, if she went MCU, all the good movies in the MCU would be bad. And all the bad movies would be, even the worst movies in the MCU would be worse under her. They would not be better. They'll be worse under her. Okay? Like, she's really taking shots at somebody who has successfully built a gigantic monstrosity of success. Yeah, she knows better, huh? She knows better. She thinks she knows better. Yeah, that's why she's doing this here, not working there.
But let's pour one out. Let's pour one out. Mwah. Let's pour one out for Secret Invasion, probably the most wasted comic book storyline to date in the MCU. And that's a tough competition, but I think that was the worst. Maybe because I liked the story so much and it had such a big impression on me when I read it originally.
At least we agree there. Oh my God! I'm sorry, guys. She's so.
And I knew what it could have been if it had been done right. I'm so upset about that. What would you say is the most wasted comic book storyline in the MCU to date?
This is not a natural storm.
All right, so when it comes to big strokes this episode, we finally got a good look.
Big strokes.
Look at Evil Banksy, even though we all know who he is. He's that guy from the book signing for the psychiatrist, Muse. We saw more of his work this week as well in honor of White Tiger. Are those angel wings to honor White Tiger's murder? Or are they tiger eyes like his domino mask to show you that White Tiger is watching the city? I guess like all art, it is open to interpretation. But speaking of guesses, who do you think exactly Muse is using for his ink? Yes, we see him taking people who are...
Just regular people. Just regular people, Grace. There's no special... There's no regular... I'm sorry. I know sideways. I'm sorry. I'm just...
alive, it turns out, and draining them of their blood. I guess he didn't want it to congeal while he transported them to his studio, which is in the subway system. But wow, and then he's hanging their corpses up on the top.
No, there's nobody special, Grace. They're victims. There's nobody special here. None of the people they showed in the end of the episode is particularly important. Specifically important. They are important in the sense that what Muse does to them. but they're not overall important to. You're not going to have a big role. Like, this guy is not going to be a major character or a minor character. He's a tiny character in the sense that his role is just being a victim of Muse's sick and twisted, sadistic mindset of a serial killer that likes to do graffiti, but likes to use blood of his victims, and he wants to make sure they're alive too. Alive. That's all his character's playing. His character's role is just to be showing how sick and demented Muse is. This guy is going to be not playing him. This guy is not going to be important overall. I bet somebody will. He will probably get. He will definitely get somebody. I think it's a doctor because of episode. Was it episode 1? One or 2 episodes. The first 2 episodes. The doctor, the therapist. I think it'll be one of the therapists. And then that's okay. I think it's going to be. He's going to get a very important character to try to be one of his victims, and I think it's going to be the therapist. Just based on the first 2 episodes. When he goes to the book signing, and he has to be a big fan. Why is he a big fan of him?
Top of his studio? That is some Gotham City level shit. And as a Batman fan, I am here for it. But let's see if Daredevil and R-rated Disney Plus can cash the checks that they write.
Marvel has pretty sick motherfuckers too, Grace. I don't know if you know that.
I'm really curious to see if they can follow through on this. But so far, I'm interested. Finally, as for the big things this episode, the White Tiger, most modern comic book readers are familiar with, Angela Del.
The White Tiger looks good here, huh? She looks hot in this comic book panel here on the left. Damn, she looks so good. Nice red.
Toro shows up as the niece of Hector.
Yeah, she's too young to become White Tiger. I think she's too young.
Wow, she's going to make for a very tiny vigilante. I also think, by the way, that she might have swiped the magic amulet from Matt with all those hugs. I was like, she's going in close a lot. Why else would they establish that Matt...
Here's the thing. If they did that, they should have had her, they should have showed her snipe the amulet. If they did not show that, then she didn't swipe the amulet. Just saying. Usually those kind of things in films and movies, you usually see the person swiping it.
Just picked up the amulet. They were like, he's got it. And let's see if he can hold on to it. Do you think she took it?
No.
Our hotel
White
is the
Lotus
best in the world. At the end of the week, you will be an entire...
All right, so then now that we've looked at the big headlines for episode 4, let's dig into some of the details. Again, I think this show's pretty good. It just doesn't have the wow of a weekly release needs.
Cause it's called fucking building up, man. Build up.
And then I think a casual fan.
Hey, Red. I watch AEW. I know you're playing, but the Edge and Moxley match should be the main event. Just saying. That match should be the main event, not the women's match. Just saying. I think that's bad placing.
As a comic book reader, I'm entertained. This is what I read every week on Wednesdays when comic books come out. I'm used to this kind of pacing.
I don't think you read comic books.
A story. I'm used to this. But a casual has a lot of demands on their time these days, especially just from the entertainment space. And I don't think this show is competitive.
No. Are you telling me the casuals have demands from Marvel? Are you a fucking idiot? What? I see the hardcores have demands. The casuals don't have demands. The casuals are not going. He should be in this show. This hero should be in this show. I want to see this heroine in this show. I want to see this villain in this movie. No, the casuals don't do that. Honestly, it's the hardcores that have more to demand. I'd say.
In my opinion.
In your opinion,
It might be taking Daredevil.
I don't know about you guys. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? I might. What do you guys think? Who has more demands for this kind of stuff, guys? I'm gonna let you answer this in the comments if you want. Hardcore fans or casual fans? She's doing it, Degrassi. It's not a coincidence anymore. She's doing it. She's doing it. And yeah, it's gonna be her thing now, right?
Daredevil and Kingpin an awful long time to suit up again, but they're getting itchy. We're getting close. We're getting close.
Oh my gosh, she's having a, like, look at this woman.
Daredevil's like, oh, I missed
Degrassi. This woman, her favorite scene of this episode was the Adam reveal at the end. Fans, exactly. Thank you, fans. All right, that's a good point. And I know what you mean by fans. You're not talking about casuals. Also, she doesn't understand why he was eating pasta in front of Adam. It's a flex, a dominance of power scene. Also, she was, when the, you didn't see the episode, Degrassi, right? But in the episode, the guy Matt was defending, right, was being, was arrested for shoplifting, right? And he, he's doing all this stuff to claim it wasn't him, and he mentioned to a point where it was a scroll. And Grace is like, if you're gonna do that, you might as well show a scroll. And I'm like, if they show the scroll, it changes the whole complexion of the fucking show, which is not about fucking scrolls. It's not about a fucking scroll invasion. It changes the whole complexion of the show. It'd be more, all right? This isn't about Kingpin against vigilantes. Not about Kingpin against the scrolls. Okay? It changed everything about the show. Everything about the show. And also, if it's about the scrolls, it would not just be a New York thing. It'd be a world thing. She wants to see the scrolls. The guy mentioned maybe it was a scroll. You don't need to see the scroll. And she doesn't know what she's talking about. And she said this. Oh, if I was in that writer's room for this, I would say, you know what? You should show a bunch of scrolls in this. I'm like, and I'm like, why? She said that. She basically said that. And I'm like, why? And I said, the writers and the showrunners will look at you and laugh at you. And they'll tell you, scrolls have nothing to do with the show. They're not an integral part of the story of this show. You may mention them in the show as they are in the universe, but they're not an integral part of the story we're currently telling for these seasons. And to be honest with you, season 1 and 2 are basically 2-part seasons, right? Season 1 and 2 is 2-part seasons. Oh, I have Red. I haven't talked to him in months, to let you know. 1 or 2 months I haven't talked to him. You can talk to me privately, but I haven't talked to him.
You old friends. I'm Katana Sticks. Maybe he's just trying to find him. Next week we have 2 episodes dropping again at once. So that should be. They must be doing that for a reason. It must be something.
Yeah, because they're trying to end the show before Andor. Doing that for a reason. They said that.
Pretty good.
That's the reason. I mean, even I know that. Wow. Why, man? Why is people like this? See, she's such a good grifter. Like, Grace is a great grifter. Okay? She's a great grifter. I know what Degrassi says about Grace. I know what she says. She tells her what they always want to hear. Think about it, Grace. Episode 5 and 6. What's next week? Next week is March 18th. Yes, yesterday was March 18th. March 25th, episode 5 and 6. Right? Think about it, guys. All right? I'll get my calendar right up now. I'll get my April calendar. Andor is premiering April 22nd, right? So let me get my calendar on my phone and see. For you guys. I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, April 1st. April 1st, right? April 1st is a Tuesday, right? Okay. Episode 7, right? April 8th, Tuesday, right? Episode 8. April 15th, Tuesday, season finale. April 22nd, Andor. Debuts on a Tuesday. I mean, it doesn't, Degrassi guys, it doesn't take a rocket genius, a rocket genius to figure this shit out. Okay? She does her research on, she does her research on box office, math, and stuff like this. But when it comes to stuff like this, she doesn't do any research. And you know me, guys. You know, I mention in my streams all the time. When we blinded, I mentioned it a week ago. When I'm not sure something, or 100% sure something, I have no problem, while live on stream, searching it up on my laptop or on my phone. It's to get information, to tell you stuff. Whether you're, and even if I say I say something is wrong, I make sure. If I say something is wrong, I make sure. If I'm not 100% sure, I search it up. And if they don't do that. They don't do that. Great. Okay.
But this episode, they spend a lot of time fighting the problems of local government, bureaucracy, and bad singing. Whew, that was some awful singing. And I'm not sure what the show is trying to say about those groups, or like the funding of the arts. I'm like, what are you trying to say?
You're making fun of kids singing? Are you kidding me? God. Hey, she shouldn't be the one to talk about singing. Honestly? You think I should start talking with them?
Say here, because I've never heard singing that bad. I think you'd have to work.
I have. You.
Hard to sing that bad. And those groups worked real hard. It was awful. But I did think it was a nice touch that they were both trying to.
Fucking cares. I didn't care about the fucking singing. The quality of singing. I love how she picks on kids. I don't think he would come on, Red. Honestly. Okay? I don't think he would come on. Trust me, he wouldn't. I know him.
To sing the 80s banger, We Built This City. I so wanted to jump in with it's 68
I'm not in any group chats with him anymore, so.
Degrees, blah, blah, blah. If anyone is a fan of that song, it's like almost impossible not to do it. It's like, what is that thing like from Roger Rabbit? Like, you do.
Oh my God.
No tune can resist. You play the beginning of We Built This City, and any fan of the song is going to be like, I got to do the radio bit. But Fisk, of course, is trying to build the city. He is so Trump-coded, and I have to say, in a very effective and fair way. He practically said, make New York City great again on the docks tonight. And he wants to cut through all the red tape, even if some of that red tape is necessary. He's like, I want to do it now. Why can't I do it now? They're like, zoning. Some of it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
Some of it needs to be done. His interest in tech, I was like, man, it's so there. And also keeping around dumb guys because they're insanely loyal. Is Daniel Blake going to end up being a scapegoat for Fisk? Or is he maybe smarter than he looks? Or more ferocious? Dumb guys are tricky that way. But he certainly threw a curveball to Kingpin when he apologized. So
let me see something. Oh no, something's gonna happen to him. No, he's a villain. Something's gonna happen to that guy. Okay, something's gonna happen to that guy. Dan Blake. Oh yeah, something happens to him. My dick. Oh shit.
so profusely and exclaimed and proclaimed his loyalty. What do you?
No. Yeah. Well, in the comics, he's an alien, but that's in the comics.
What do you think Blake is up to?
Is he a Skrull? Some people might think he's a Skrull because the character does have resembles a name. I'm not talking about Donald Blake, that's Thor, but he does resemble a character from the beginning, like when Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created, named Dan Blake, who is an alien.
Collaboration is smoother than ever with Dell AI PCs that are simple.
All right, so I thought Leroy Bradford's situation, when he finally explained it, was very moving. And it was actually a great and important monologue. I loved that monologue. I was like, Murdoch, why don't you do some frickin' charity work? All right, and Murdoch, he's such a himbo flirt. I love seeing that side of him because it's so rarely done in pop culture. But the way he gets Bradford's deal down to 10 days, he was like, he's like, ooh, Lady DA, like doing his eyebrows. So great. All right, so anyway. Although, again, as I said, show don't tell, not with the flirting, but with Leroy Bradford's situation when it comes to movies and film. I think that this show, what this show is trying to say about the system is incredibly important, but it would be so much more effective if it was a part of the story that we could really explore and not just a monologue. Why not have Angela be a little older, responsible vigilante size. Oh, although maybe they're going to turn her into Daredevil's Robin? Will Marvel beat DC to the punch yet again? Oh my gosh. As a Batman fan, I'm nervous and offended in advance. Don't you do this. Don't take Robin from us first.
And I was muted. Why was I muted? Why was I muted? Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, I was muted. Oh my god. I don't know how long I was talking for. Sorry guys. I didn't mute myself. I didn't realize I was still muted. I'm an idiot. I take that back. But like I said, I don't know. You missed what I was saying. So I'm sorry, guys. Daredevil has sidekicks. Okay. Okay. Sidekick is not just exclusive to DC. Okay. Not just exclusive to DC. Not just exclusive to DC, right, guys? We know that, right? Yeah. So Daredevil has had a sidekick. Okay. It's not a DC. I mean, it's more showcase in DC's sidekick aspect, but Marvel has had sidekicks, right? And Daredevil has had a sidekick, right? And if you watch Spider-Man, I think you guys can hear me. If you watch Spider-Man, the show that just came out in January, we saw sidekick of Daredevil. We saw Daredevil's sidekick. Remember the supposed intern in Oscorp, the undercover intern in Oscorp. Forget her name. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Remember her? Yeah. Let me see something. Okay. Haha. You all remember that, right? We know Daredevil has had a sidekick. What is this woman talking about? She says she reads comics, but doesn't understand that Daredevil's had a sidekick. Like, she lies about knowing comics. I don't think she goes to the shop. Well, she may. Oh, maybe she not go to shop. She probably, whatever. She made a online reader, tablet.
DC has had decades to do Robin, and they've never done it. They've always blinked at the last minute. They came very close with Matt Reeves, but they're still not there. And if Daredevil does it first, oh my God. All right.
Okay, Grace. Miss Randolph. Matt Reeves' universe does not need to introduce Robin that quick. This is an established universe already. Daredevil already has been. First of all, Daredevil has already been. Matt Murdock has been Daredevil many more years than Batman. And Robert Pattinson's Batman's been Batman. Okay. So relax. Also, who cares? Let Matt Reeves tell his Batman story. Okay. Don't put them against each other. Okay. Marvel has sidekicks. Daredevil has had a sidekick. Okay. First of all, why are you saying this? You're comparing fucking sidekick. Oh, Daredevil is gonna be the first one in Marvel to have a sidekick. Didn't you fucking see? Didn't you fucking see? I don't know. Wasn't Kate Bishop basically a sidekick to Hawkeye? I don't know. To Clint. There were kind of sidekicks in Marvel. People always saw Sam Wilson as a sidekick to Cap, War Machine as sidekick to Iron Man, but I never saw War Machine as a sidekick. Okay. Stop this with this. Oh, Daredevil's gonna do it first. Daredevil has years of establishment. The show has already established. How can I say establish? Now, history. Okay, I gotta say history, right? Because you've seen it. Batman, we had two things. What do we need? Okay, relax.
All right, so anyway.
It's not a fucking contest. It's not a contest.
Make Angela appropriate vigilante age and have her.
How do you know it's appropriate vigilante age? How do you know how old she is? She looks too young.
Storyline dealing with some of these elements. And then, that I think that the important note there is to condense your storyline so that the ones that are remaining get more time. I think that would have been, I think better for the story and what they were also trying to get across. Again, Angela seems so small and so young, although again, Robin-sized. And Daredevil season 2 is filmed.
Here's the thing. When they get Robin, if they do get Dick Grayson, it's not going to be 12, 11 years old. They're going to make sure it's older. I just see it.
Right now, and this is the downside of filming the next season while the current season airs, because I saw a photo from the set and Fisk assembles his anti-vigilante task force.
Grace, I don't know if you know this, but shows have been doing that for a long time. They film the next season while this season's going on. I mean, Game of Thrones has done it. Actually, it's quite normal. Okay. I was thinking. Okay. Oh, I want to hear that, man. Thank you. That's good news, Grace. I don't think you know that. Shows film their second and third season while the first season's airing. It's normal. So what? Okay.
AVTF, and they got
Anti-Vigilante Task Force. That is the that's
massive.
that's going to be the main story of season 2, and where Daredevil creates his own vigilante task force.
Firepower. Well, how is Little White Tiger going to go up against that? All right, so
because Little White Tiger, I don't know. I don't think Little White Tiger will beat. I don't think she'll beat White Tiger yet.
Looks like things are going to get intense, though. As for who killed the OG White Tiger, thanks to Matt Murdock's super senses, he finds the bullet casing. I was like, this is New York City. How do you know that's the bullet from the murder? But luckily, the assassin put his logo on it. But in Braille? How does Matt know these things are there?
It's not
I
good
wish
news.
they would.
Oh, great news. I read. What is it?
Kind of explain that. He should at least like show it to someone on the street and be like, you see anything on this? They're like, sir, that is a can, that's a chapstick, empty chapstick container. All right, so yeah, I mean, his super senses aren't that good. All right, so he goes to see Frank, or maybe this was just the excuse he needed to see Frank, because again, their pain has brought them closer together. When Frank says he constantly hears his dead son's voice saying, "Get him, Daddy," I was like, my goodness, that was so brutal. He made Matt Murdock cry. Matt insists that going after these dirty police or whoever killed White Tiger, because Officer Powell, who Matt Murdock sees in the hallway there and goads him into, saying, I don't know anything about who killed Hector. But
wait, it's not good news? Is it still going to get made, Degrassi? That's what I want to know. Is it still going to get made?
Because Matt can hear his heartbeat. He knows, that's like he's a human lie detector. He knows that it didn't pick up speed so that Officer Powell is telling the truth. By the way, do you understand fully Daredevil's powers? I do. I've read the comics. I watch the show. But if you're a casual fan, it occurred to me that this show never really, this season never really reestablished it. And so I do wonder if
you don't need to.
Some of you are like, what's he doing? I mean, I'm sure you're picking up the general idea, but a little sloppy on the show's part. But Matt insists that this isn't about Foggy, and Frank fires back, it's all about Foggy. And I was like, he's right. Man, Foggy better not be faking his own death, as some of you are trying to say that he is, because this would be a lot of great writing and crying and emotion for nothing.
One sip of new Fuse iced tea, and he knew he had to share the flavor with everyone. One sip and you'll know. It's the flavor.
Good morning.
We did it! We won!
Fructis takes you from shower prep to real-life confidence.
Let's get started.
Oh my god.
Put Fructis to the test. By Garnier.
I should really...
All right, then of course, Vanessa, who is so cool. I think we can all see why she has a hold over Fisk and why he feels she has a right to. But she's not so sure. She tells their psychiatrist that she feels perfectly safe with this guy, even though he pretty much alluded to killing somebody. But she's like, don't worry, he would never hurt me. But she's like, Fisky poo. Is that right? And I think it's I think it's fascinating. Of course, he says, well, what's he going to say? No, I think you should move out. But I think
move out, bitch.
It's fascinating that just like in real life, they're both shaped and warped.
Get out. I'll say that.
Their parents. So Vanessa's father, this is okay to tell instead of show. I thought this was nice because it brings you closer. Zipper. It brings you closer to the characters. So Vanessa's father constantly was going on benders when she was growing up, disappearing for long periods of time. Who knows doing what? We know what he was doing. All the stuff that his wife didn't want him to do. And Vanessa said she never respected her mother for putting up with all that. Yet here she was with Fisk leaving her and turning her into her own mother. Oh, it's enough to drive anyone.
What, is she fucking Hush? Oh, so she's Thomas Elliot? Because that's Tom Ellis' story.
To insanity. That's pretty bad. It's one thing to say you remind me of your mother, but it's even more so to make it true. Oh my goodness. Because, he disappeared to go beyond on the Echo show. Oh, Vanessa girl, you didn't want to go on that journey. He ended up actually saving you. And also, you would have lost all respect for Fisk, like we did. But I have to say, Vincent D'Onofrio is doing such a good job on these episodes so far that he's pretty much won me back. He's pretty much erased the embarrassment of Echo, his scenes, from my mind. As for Fisk, he says his father taught him all the things that have made him Kingpin. But he never taught
Is it something to do with Matt Reeves or something to do with Matt Reeves and James Gunn not on the same page?
him how to forgive. That's why would he? All right, but now it's a real bummer for his relationship, though, his personal relationship. This is a tough one to get over, though. This is a tough one. But they say that forgiveness is the highest form of love, right, Adam? Oh, I just love that. That twist really made this episode, in my opinion. All right, so in the trailer,
that's your favorite scene is the Adam scene.
Vanessa and Fisk are eating, though, in that basement. So I wonder if Adam is still there. He's like, Vanessa, baby, what's going on? And she's like, I'm so over you. Also, maybe Adam gets out. I thought that was a female assassin, but Adam has very long hair. And he's kind of grungy, especially after being locked up down there. I wonder if Adam I wonder if that's Adam. I wonder if that's Adam, who also we see in the trailer attacking Fisk.
Adam looks like it could be Adam. Adam looks like Jesus Christ.
All right, so clearly Fisk needs to forgive Vanessa. I think he does. I'm sure he's done a lot of bad stuff. I think
I'm sure he's done a lot of bad stuff. No, like he hasn't. Of course he's done a lot.
But do you think that he could? I don't know. Cheating's a big one. In my opinion. And Matt needs to forgive himself. And Frank needs to forgive himself too. Matt says he and Frank will never be as good as Foggy was. Frank's like, I'm depressed enough, Matt. What are you doing to me? But, this is me talking. That doesn't mean they can't try to be as good as Foggy. All right, so that's my breakdown of Daredevil.
All right. I hope Degrassi, I don't like the sound of that. You're making me worried. Stop it, Degrassi. You're killing me here. I hope not. I hope what you're saying is not true. Okay. I don't know why. But it's hope nothing serious. Okay. All right. I don't know what to say about this woman. I don't know. This is good thing I won't be talking about her tomorrow. All right, I guess I'll end this. This is a shorter stream than usual. How long? It's an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, that's good. It's good for today. Good for tonight. All right, so I want to thank you all for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow with not a detracting stream, not a spoiler review stream, just something fun. Maybe a Let's Talk Pop, maybe a discussion stream tomorrow, Thursday. All right. If something big breaks drops, that's going to be definitely talked about. If it wasn't today, if it wasn't a detracting stream, there would have been a Let's Talk Pop episode today. So most likely, a Let's Talk Pop episode tomorrow. Most likely, I would say between that and a discussion stream, 70-30. Let's Talk Pop. Okay. All right. Later, guys.